What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy and we're back with another video. Why play Diablo 3 in 2024? Well, great question and let's get cracking. I love this game. I think it's a real belter. It has got a arcadey feel even though it is an isometric ARPG. I love the gameplay loop. You can get yourself to 70 in a couple of hours these days if you know what you're doing. You can then spend a few more hours getting a new build on a fresh character, on a fresh season up and running, and it's not too much of a time investment for you to start to feel absolutely godly and to be blowing up the screen and smashing stuff. Now, I really enjoy the fact that it doesn't take 40, 50, 60 hours to get to the point when you can start flattening stuff. And obviously the way the Greater Rift system works is the tiers just keep increasing, so you can set the difficulty that you wish to play at. If you want to play at 90, you can play at 90. If you want to go up and play at 120, you can do so. If you want to back it off and play 40, you absolutely can do. It's kind of up to each individual person. You can get into the rifts very quickly and you just keep running them and blowing stuff up. I personally enjoy playing all 7 classes across a season. I like finding gear, I like finding loot, I like building out the characters, and the game just to me really does feel fun. But we've got quite a few things that have been updated over the last few patches, so if you're a returning player or you've never played the game, perhaps now is a wonderful time to give this a little bit of a try. And I do think that quite a few people will return to this game, whether it's for a nostalgic blast for a couple of weekends, or whether just to maybe have a little try of some of the later features that we've had over the last past patch cycles. So starting us off, why play Diablo 3 in 2024? Well, first off, we are going to not get any new content, which sounds big sad. But what we do know is we're getting returning season themes. So for example, season 30, which at the time of recording has got no release date unfortunately, is going to be return of the soul shards from season 25. These were very popular, these were very powerful. It's a legendary gem, you have to find it, you then have to find embers to upgrade it. It has various different multiple options for how it rolls when you open it up, and it adds a lot of power, and it's going to take a bit of time to perfect out build. So I'm very excited for season 30. Now the devs have said they're going to go and put us a new season every 3 months or so. I think realistically it's going to be somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks before the next D4 season. That's where D3 is going to slot, because it makes sense to me that Blizzard wants people on their launcher in the world of Sanctuary getting hyped for new seasons. But we do have some absolute banger previous season themes from Diablo 3 that will of course be returning in the future. No official confirmation as to which season is coming when, but I would expect us to see, for example, the Ethereal season, which came with a wonderful cosmetic chase to find all the ethereals so you could get the ethereal cosmetics for your character. These were weapons, you had to find them, they offered really big power. Again, loot chase, it was a lot of fun. We also had the 4th cube slot season, really powerful for something like the Necromancer, where you can jam in an extra modifier. Having that 4th cube slot being whatever it is that you want really did change the kind of meta, upped all the build diversity, gave you a lot more freedom, so I'm really excited for that one coming back. And of course, who could forget the open cube, where the canized cube, instead of having to pick a weapon, an armor slot and a jewelry piece, you could just pick whatever you wanted, so long as it was 3 different things. You could just jam 3 weapons in there. Again, great for the Necromancer. We've got kill streaks, we've got the clone season. There's just so many options, I think, of really good season themes that the dev team will be able to recycle for us. And whilst there is no new content each time one gets launched, it is, we know, going to be a really good season theme, because there's no point in picking something rubbish like Double Goblins way back when, which was of course the first one. Now, as I say, if you haven't been around the game for a little bit of time, then we do have some new stuff, which again makes it wonderful to jump into Diablo 3 in 2024. So the latest game mode that we have is called the Visions of Enmity. It spawns in the open world, so you can't get it inside a Greater Rift. It's not a very challenging game mode, it's a set of levels that you go down, and at the end you kill a goblin. It's got a chest, but what it is great for is material farming, and it gives you a lot of bounty mats. So if you ever really disliked doing those bounty runs to get your materials so that you could remake your gear with the bounty mats, well, Visions of Enmity is going to be up your street, because it drops so many of them. You will basically be able to craft all sorts of stuff, which is really nice. Another new game mode that was added not that long ago was the Echoing Nightmares. You find a key, you pop it into Kanai's cube, and it opens up a kind of arcadey wave-based mode level where you have to try and get as far as you can without dying. Just be careful on hardcore because you can lose your character here. But if you do make it to wave 125, you get a Whisper of Atonement, which is essentially an augment gem. So augmenting out multiple builds is very easy using this game mode. You can also get a Goblin Shrine towards the end of this, so it makes materials and gems and all that sort of stuff quite easy to get. Again, not the most difficult game mode, but it is still something else to do. Now we do know for Season 30 the Alter of Rites returns. This is going to be a permanent feature in the game. I'm going to have to unlock it every season. Whilst this has been nerfed significantly since Season 28, we do know of course we're getting season themes on top of it, so it is adding a bit of power to each season theme that comes. Plus there's so much quality of life stuff in this altar, it is just fantastic. We've got automatic pickup of death's breaths, automatic salvaging of materials, we've got double bounty caches. If you want to go and find your Ring of Royal Grandeur, it's going to take you only half the amount of time. You can do all sorts of stuff with it, resource on crit, move speed, boss damage. There is just an awful lot. Double death's breaths, there's loads of really good nodes in there. And once you get the full thing unlocked, you get double primals, double legendary items at Kadala is amazing. There's a lot of good stuff in the altar, and it is going to be there every single season. It is a challenge to get the Staff of Herding to get it completely done up and made out, but that is something to grind every season and something else to do, which is nice. Again, another couple of new things that have been added over the previous few patch cycles are something called an Oryx Dream. This is when you pop a keystone in and the game, roughly about 1 in every 300 or 400 rolls, will give you an Oryx Dream Rift. This is a Dream Rift. It has got a special indicator in it, but it's made up of really good mobs on really good maps. And of course, if you're looking to push your build as high as possible, then getting one of these rifts is certainly going to help you out, but it's not very common. It is quite rare. It's kind of fun when you get one. Another quality of life thing that we've got now in the cube is you can craft your own primal. You can only use one at a time, so you can't super OP craft absolutely everything and have it all decked out with primals, but you can make one a weapon, give your character a really good boost, and all it takes is a couple of primals to salvage to get the Primordial Ash. This is another kind of new material in the game, and crafting primals means that certain things like a Halo Carini, a Squirt's Necklace, something that's quite hard to drop and roll well, you can craft multiple primals of it and then pick whichever one suits your build best. Another reason it is a brilliant time to come to Diablo 3 in 2024 is the devs have committed to making all of the sets balanced. Now, we've had some significant nerfs in this last patch, so the Talrasha Meteor Wizard, the Nova Necro, Marauder, lots of these top builds have come down back out of the stratosphere of crushing GR150 very easily back down to Earth, and I do expect the devs to continue just every time we get a new season, 31, 32 moving forwards, to tweak the numbers a little bit on any of the sets. I don't think there'll be any mechanical changes at all moving forwards, but we will get some balance, and I think the end goal will be in another couple of seasons time to have every single set perfectly balanced so that you can then pick and choose whichever one you want, and you don't feel pressured that you have to go and play your Nova Necro or you have to go and play your Talrasha Meteor Wizard. So the balance of the game, I think, is going to put it in a really good spot, and it has moved a lot that way with this latest patch cycle. Another really cool feature that's been added to the game is SSF mode. So if you don't want to group, you don't want to put up with any kind of people who get, paragon leeching, paragon farming, gear sharing, botting, any of that nonsense, you can make yourself an SSF character, and then you have to do everything off your own steam. You have to do all your own bounties, all your own rifts, get all your own gear. Because of the way the leaderboards work, we now, of course, have separate leaderboards for SSF and for every single set. So if you want to benchmark a random Necro build, let's say you really love Inarius and you want to play it, well, you can go make a Necromancer, SSF, play on Inarius, and then look and see where everybody else has got with that particular set. So This is a change that I think the player base asked for like a bazillion years. Could we get it done? And it is a little bit of a shame that it only came later in the game with the SSF and the split leaderboards, but it is wonderful just to see that we can go off and play all the different builds and benchmark ourselves against everybody. So there's loads to do. There's obviously multiple sets for each individual class. We've got 7 sets for us to fill out. So yeah, overall, I just really like the gameplay loop. I like feeling fast, I like feeling powerful. I like the fact that the meta way to play the game is to flip rifts in like 90 to 180 seconds, get that loose, get it blasted, get the primals. The arcadey nature, the simplistic nature of the game, I just think is an awful lot of fun. Of course, pushing is more complex. We still have that in the game. There are always tips and tricks and little secrets that we can do to try and push our builds up higher, but I just really like the gameplay loop. I just think we've got a really polished version of D3 now, with really good season themes coming, with a lot of quality of life, and a lot of the kind of bugbears of augmentation, bounty mats, having to pick stuff up. All those things are kind of fixed, and we've got this really nice kind of final version of D3 where we are moving 2024. So I do hope you come back to the game at some point, whether it's just to play for a weekend, play for a week, come in and have a look at some of the changes. Some of the builds are still really fun to play. A very fast-paced action ARPG, and it is definitely one of my favourite games of all time. I've been the Filthy Casual. I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you again soon. Take it easy. Peace.